Well, good afternoon, fam. It's your brother, G. Hightower, coming in for the Lunchtime Love Chat. Come on and share, family. Share the broadcast today. We're going to chop it up and have some real good dialogue today. Today, I'm asking a question. Good afternoon, Queen Lavora. I'm asking a question today. Hey, Cherie Bradley, I see you. The question for today is, should a woman ever approach a man? Now, we're primarily, of course, we are specifically, of course, talking about singles. Married women should never be approaching a man because you already got a man, boo. But single ladies, should you ever approach a man? Of course, we know that most of us who have been raised old school, we know that we were taught, ladies, you were taught, of course, we as men, we were always taught to pursue, always look to approach a woman, and we were always taught to be a gentleman. Unfortunately, a lot of the women that have grown up with certain Christian values, or you were just raised that good old school way, a lot of ladies were taught to never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever approach a man. And I want to really kind of unravel that today. I want to kind of unpack that today. I want us to kind of look at it differently, because here's what men are saying, ladies. If you're a single woman in this broadcast, I want you to drop down SW in the chat. All right. Drop SW in the chat if you are a single woman. Now, listen, let me say this real quick. A lot of men are saying, ladies, that some of y'all, not all, I won't even say most, but some of y'all are not nice. You're not polite. You're not cordial. You're not conversational. And men are trying to approach y'all, but y'all ain't even being nice. I mean, just nice and polite and conversational. And it's like, hamburger, how are we going to have a relationship? Yes. Erica, you are 1,000% right. That's the original artist, AWB, the average white man. But this version is Kenny G and David Sanborn. Kenny G, my second favorite saxophone player of all time. Along number one, of course, is Gerald Albright. Yeah, so this was a remake by Kenny G and David Sanborn. Y'all hit that share button. Let's go. Hey, y'all hit that share button. Share. Let's get some folks up in this broadcast. We're going to have some fun dialogue today on relationships. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. All right, some of y'all too safe to listen to that kind of music, so let me go ahead and chill out and get on into it. So listen, here's what's up. I posted about a couple of hours ago about whether or not men and women have. I got so many comments, and it was really interesting at some of the commentary that I received on the post. So let me read to you some of the comments. They were most interesting from the post. Let me read to you some of the comments. So the question that I asked on the post was, should a woman always wait for a man to approach her first, or can she initiate a conversation? All right. That was my question on the post. All right. Then I said in the commentary, I said, please consider this real life scenario. It's a business conference where the gentleman, the person who is of interest to you, ladies, the gentleman is the speaker. He doesn't notice you due to the dozens of people, mostly women, that are speaking with him afterwards. Would you be okay, ladies, in introducing yourself to that gentleman in that setting? Would you be okay? So, ladies, I'd love to get your feedback in that situation. Hey, Pamela Bell, what's up, Pastor? Good to see you. Miss Kimberly King, I'm so glad you made it in because I definitely want to get your feedback in real time on this conversation. Pastor Pamela Bell, how come you can't go live with your brother? Pastor Pamela Bell, we've been connected for like, what, 8 years? How come you can't come live with your brother? You know, we would be so fun together, Pastor Pamela Bell. And I know you're probably at work, so you probably can't do that at the spur of the moment, but let's plan for it. I'll come on your platform. You ain't got to come on mine. I'll come on your show and let's just chop it up. Let's just chop it up, Pastor Pamela Bell, because I know what I know about Pastor Pamela Bell. She's sure enough a true woman of God. I know you're working right now, but let's plan for it, Pastor Pamela. Listen, I'll come on your show and we'll just come and have some fun and have some dialogue on relationships. All right. All right, so here's what's up. So Kimberly King, so the conversation, the question again, as I posted today, and Kimberly, you responded as well. And some of the commentary that I received was most interesting from the women. And I'm asking a question, and I even created the scenario that if the man was the keynote speaker at this event, you know, would you be okay with just going and introducing yourself? One lady wrote, she says, I go after any and everything I want. I love that. One lady said, it's a conference. Yes, you can approach and initiate a conversation. It's no different than on a Sunday morning telling someone that you enjoy their singing, their teaching, or their playing. And Miss Kimberly King, who's here, Kimberly King says, I've gotten more comfortable in making the first move, but it's still not ideal for me. I have to talk to myself to follow through. But my odds have been good, to say the least. My sister, Pastor Pamela Bell, says nothing wrong with a woman initiating a conversation with a man. Truthfully, we do it in so many different situations. For example, in line at the grocery store. Absolutely. And then one lady says, no, absolutely not. There's absolutely no way that a woman should, basically, she's saying, and these are my words, but there's no way that a woman should initiate a conversation with a man. All right. Hey, Prophetess Dawn is in the building. So good to see you, Dawn. So I want to just really broach this conversation, ladies, and please go ahead and share the broadcast. Do me a favor, drop 3 names in the comment section. Drop 3 names in the comment section, because what that does, it essentially tags people and brings people into the broadcast. So let me share 3 quick love nuggets, ladies, with you about this, because we have so many precious single women of God who are beautiful wives in waiting. And I want to remind you of the most important, one of the most important foundational pillars of a healthy love relationship, and that's communication. So if your expectation is that the man brings all the communication, then what that does is it removes you from the responsibility of helping to build that bond that's going to allow you to have a healthy love relationship. It's about communication. So if in that scenario that I created for you all, where it's a business conference, the man is the public speaker, and let's just use a conservative number of 100. Okay, that's a real conservative number for a good business conference, that 100 people were in attendance. Woman of God, let me share this with you. He just doesn't see you. It's not that you're not beautiful. It's not that you're not brilliant. It's not that you're not well educated, well put together, dressing good, smelling good, looking good. It's not any of those factors that he didn't notice you, but you are a person within the crowd. So if this gentleman is the man of interest for you, how will you make a connection if among 100 other people, he just didn't see you? So if you stand on this mountain that many of the seasoned saints taught us, ladies, taught y'all, no, a woman should never approach a man. A woman should never initiate a conversation with a man. I can actually show you in the Bible where that's not true, but let's just go ahead and stay with that. So if you stay with that mindset that a woman should never approach a man, a woman should never initiate a conversation, a woman should never introduce herself, it's a man's job to do all of that work, but there's 100 other people, 99 other people. You are one of 100 people in the room, and he doesn't see you, how will he notice you? How will you have the opportunity to connect with him? How will you have the opportunity to establish communication if you don't make an introduction? And so this is where I want to talk to you ladies about the importance of going beyond what you've learned, what you've heard, so you can have a new set of results. Unfortunately, and this is true for all of us, both men and women, I'm guilty too. So let me put myself on that altar. We're all guilty of being so ensconced in what we've known that we don't open our minds up to know something else. Because two things can be true. It can be true what we've known, what we've been taught. It can also be true that we need something new. Because if you're going to have a different set of results, you have to have a different set of actions. How in the world? Now, I'm talking to those of us who've not dated or been in a healthy love relationship in 5 years or more. Okay. If you haven't been in a healthy relationship, if you haven't dated in 5 years or more, you know you have to change what you've been doing, because what you've been doing ain't working. Love you, mean it. Hey, Ramika, good to see you. Miss Nadella, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. What's up, Dwight? Good to see you, bro. So here's what's up, Miss Wanda. Listen, here's what's up. Good to see you, Dwight. Thanks for coming in, bro. Miss Dawn says, I'm going to say hello. Dawn, I'm going to see how bold you are. I'm going to see how bold you are. Let me take a pause real quick for those of you that may not know me. Say, who is this man on here trying to tell women what to do? We tired of these men trying to tell women what to do. Listen, I am here to help you. For those of you that don't know me, I am G. Hightower, the Entanglement Coach, CEO of Real Love Nation, certified life and relationships coach. And this month of August, I am celebrating 20 years as a pastoral counselor specializing in relationships. So I'm not new to this. I'm real true to this. Passionate about the mission of building healthy love relationships. As the Entanglement Coach, my job is to help people get free, help people break free from soul ties, get healed of soul wounds so you can connect with your soul mate. And so that is my job. This is what I do. This is what I've been graced by God and put on the earth to do. So all that said, I want to really help you. Thank you so much, Nadella. Yes, 20 years. I can't believe it. And I have to share my story with you another time about how I got here, like how I got in this position, because I didn't choose it. I was just chosen for it. And it was my trial and error. Oh, my God. It was through a painful situation. It wasn't like I said, yeah, I'm smart enough to do that. Like, no, I didn't ever think. And some days I still don't think I'm smart enough for this job. But by his grace, he has given me the wisdom. And because I've been blessed to be in a good community of counselors, certified psychotherapists, psychologists, even some whom you've read their books, I'm blessed to be a part of that community. And so I have access to so much information. And then I'm a nerd by nature. And so I study to learn about what is prohibiting us. And I want to use that word. What is prohibiting us from having healthy love relationships? Why are so many of us unhappily single? Now, let me address this really quickly before I delve into my love nuggets, because this is lunchtime. So I got to give you these love nuggets. I'm already on here 16 minutes, 15 and a half. So I'm going to give you this quick. All right. So let me address this piece first. There is such a thing as being happily single. There are many people who are content in their singleness. They don't have a desire for marriage. They don't have a desire for relationship. They are consumed in being on the path of their purpose, and they are content in their singleness. All right. Now, of those people who are single, a very, 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 very small few are actually graced to live a single life. I'm hearing a growing number of people say, oh, I'm called to singleness. Yeah, we can put that to the test. If you're actually called to singleness, then you should have no troubles in your flesh regarding your sexuality. If you have literally been graced by God, because to be graced by God, the word grace in the Greek is the word charismata, where we get our word charisma, right? Or charis is the root word, charismata, which means this is a special endowment of God's power on your life to accomplish a certain task or assignment. All right. So if you've been graced by God for singleness, then you should not be challenged in your flesh. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm just putting it out there now. Because if you're talking about I've been called to singleness, but you still struggle in your flesh, you struggle. Yeah, then it's not a grace. It's your choice. And that's okay too. But you got to be honest about that. All right. So here it is. So there are people who choose singleness and they are content in their singleness. For those of us who are desiring marriage, can you drop real quick two M's in the chat? Marriage minded. Drop a double M in the chat for me. Marriage minded. If you are a marriage minded man, a marriage minded woman, for those of us who live in that space, Vermika, then here we go. If you are a marriage minded person, here's what's up. You have to do something different in order to get a different set of results. All right. You can't stay in the space of like, I ain't approaching no man. A man gonna see me and he's gonna approach me. The right man will see me. I even have one friend who I love to life. I love her dearly. But for a long time, she was wearing a wedding ring on her finger because she said she wanted to scare away the men who would approach her that were undesirable to her. And I said, why are you wearing that wedding ring? You single as a jaybird. And she said, well, the right man will discern and he will still approach me. I said, the devil is a liar and his cousins. That don't even make no sense. What do you mean the right man? So the right man is going to look at you with a big old giant wedding ring on, and he's going to discern in the spirit. He's going to discern in the spirit that you're really single, even though I see that big 5-carat diamond ring. No, the Lord is telling me, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. Yeah, the Lord is telling me that she's actually single. Oh, don't worry about that 5-carat ring. Yeah, she's single. Go and ask her anyway. Go and ask her on a date. Really? Really? No. You just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Just admit it. I love you. You're just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And you have an unrealistic expectation that a man is supposed to look beyond your faults and see your needs. A man is supposed to look beyond this big 5-carat diamond cocktail ring you got on your finger. He's supposed to look past that and discern in the spirit that you're actually really single. Hamburger. Listen, that's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right. And it ain't right. It's a form of deception. Now, let's get into these love nuggets. 3 reasons why, ladies, 3 reasons why you should take the initiative in some situations to introduce yourself to a man. I gave you scenario number 1. You're in a big public space and the man just doesn't see you. Scenario number 2, you can look around, ladies, and those of you who are very sensitive and those of you who are wise and you know how to properly utilize your woman's intuition, you can look around and tell at a business conference, at a mixer, or even at a church function, or some other type of beautiful social setting. You can look around when a man is by himself and you can look around and tell when he's uncomfortable, when he's uneasy, or he really doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where to go. He might be looking for the restroom. He might be looking for anything. Ladies, since as a wife, because several of y'all dropped in the chat, that you are a marriage-minded woman, guess what? As a wife whom God is preparing for marriage, you are a helpmeet. So go and offer that man some help. And ladies, you would be amazed at what can blossom out of that initial interaction by you just offering that man some help. My grandmama, my auntie, and the church mothers taught me that ain't no woman should ever approach a man. So if he needs some help, he need to come over here and see me. He doesn't know you. And yo, guess what? He's from out of town. He's from a whole nother state. And he doesn't know not a soul here. How come you can't offer hospitality and just go and offer that man some help? Okay? The Bible says in the book of Hebrews that we are to be hospitable to all men, especially to those who are of the household of faith. It amazes me today, Carmela. It amazes me today, Pastor Pamela Bell, Kimberly King, Queen Lavora. It hurts my heart that so many women are just not kind and don't offer help and don't offer hospitality when they can see a man has a need. It really hurts my heart. I've even been the guest. They flew me in to be the special guest. And then because I didn't come in suited and booted or wearing an apostolic robe, but I came in because I just got off the plane. So I just got on a hoodie, some jeans, and got on some, some Pumas or some Jordans or something. And it's like, yes, may I help you? Yes, I'm Dr. Hightower. Oh my God, you're Dr. Hightower. Oh my God. I am so sorry. I just thought you were somebody else. But see, when you're kind all the time, you would have never made this mistake. Now you don't have to apologize profusely because you handled me incorrectly. It's okay. And because I'm comfortable in my skin, you ain't got to call me Dr. Hightower. You ain't got to call me apostle. You ain't got to call me pastor. I'm just Gerald. It's okay. But see, when you're kind all the time, when you're practicing hospitality all the time, then there's a beautiful, natural, organic flow where you meet this gentleman. And because you were nice to him, guess what? He actually wants to take you out after church. He wants to offer an opportunity for y'all to have lunch, go have dinner. But you eliminate that possibility just because you weren't kind. So I just want to really broach that conversation today. There's my sister, Angela. Angela's off the market, y'all. She about to get married. She about to jump the broom. She about to jump the broom and go to the upper room. I love you, Angela. Blessings on you and your awesome future husband. Yes. Yeah. So, hospitality. Yeah. Hospitality to everyone. Absolutely. Shahida, hospitality to all people, but the scripture says, and especially to those who are of the household of faith. All right. We should offer hospitality, be kind, be hospitable to all men, but especially to those who are of the household of faith. All right. So Carmela says, I'm just Miss C. Please be nice to me. I feel you. All right. So here's what's up. So the next scenario I want to give you is this. When should you go beyond and introduce yourself as a woman? Why should you introduce yourself to a man? All right. The third love nugget is, listen, every introduction, every meetup, every dinner doesn't have to turn into a romantic interest. It could be a business scenario. So ladies, if you are a businesswoman, if you are an entrepreneur here in the chat, I want you to drop in the chat real quick. BW, that you are a businesswoman. Drop in the chat. If you are an entrepreneur, if you're a businesswoman, I want you to drop in the chat. BW, you are a businesswoman. Now watch this. Thank you, Jared. Love you, brother. Good to see you. Blessings, Marilyn. Good to see you, dear. So now watch this. As a businesswoman, every interaction, every introduction, every social engagement doesn't have to turn into some romantic interest. No, guess what? You are a businesswoman and you've been praying. Carmela, you have been praying and asking God, Miss Natasha Murphy, you've been praying and asking God for God to open up a door for you, for God to send you investors, for God to send you destiny helpers, for God to send you kingdom financiers who will undergird and financially support the vision that God has given you. Guess what? Because you were kind, because you offered help, because you were hospitable. Guess what? This gentleman turns around, Carmela, and he asks you, he says, hey, by the way, thank you so much for being kind. Oh my God, I didn't know what to do. And I was hungry. I ran out the door today. And my wife didn't pack me a lunch. My wife packed me a lunch, but I left the lunch on the counter and I forgot everything and I was hungry and I started getting lightheaded. My blood sugar was low. Thank you so much for offering me half of your sandwich and bringing me some juice. Thank you so much. That was so kind of you. By the way, what's your name? Carmela, really, Carmela, what a nice name. So what do you do? And then Carmela, guess what? In that moment, you share your vision with him. And he says, really? He says, well, you know what? I actually own an investment group and I look to invest, and we specifically are looking in the month of October to invest in a woman's business. And I think you would be a perfect candidate. Why don't you submit to me your business proposal? Submit to me an outline. I want to do something special for you. My God in heaven. Don't you know that God just opened up a door for you and now sent you an investor who's going to bless your life, bless your business, take your whole situation to a whole nother level. And all it cost you was some kindness and half of a sandwich. Every interaction doesn't require a romantic interest. You don't know what God would do for you. You don't know how God is going to flip that thing and use that interaction. But now you have just procured great favor from the heart of a king because you were kind. Oh my God. Let me help a few of y'all up in here tonight. Listen. Somebody drop this in the chat for me. Kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a long way. Somebody drop that in the chat for me real quick. I find, and again, I got to say this again, it hurts my heart that some of our women, not all, not most, some of our women, and far too many of them in the body of Christ are not nice, impolite, curt, very short with people, and borderline rude. And I realized, because I've been serving in this capacity for 20 years, I realized that that comes from somewhere. When people are rude, when people are unkind, when people are curt, when people are sarcastic unnecessarily, I know that comes from a place. It comes from a deep soul wound that that person has. And so they use all of these things as a defense mechanism because they really don't want to have to be vulnerable enough to build a real relationship. Right? Because a real healthy relationship, especially one that's reciprocal, requires at least a modicum of vulnerability. And so most people don't want to go to that level. So they struggle with that. But thank you, Wanda. But kindness goes a long way. Yes, Miss Sharon, kindness goes a long way. Thank you, Marilyn. Kindness goes a long way. So I want to give you this. So ladies, I want to help you with this. Let me give you two more love nuggets, and then I'm a pause, and we'll take a couple of questions. So let me give you these two love nuggets, and then we'll do a Q&A. Drop your questions. If you have a question that you would like to ask me regarding relationships, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I will respond to it. All right. So let me give you this real quick. Hey, Michelle Drake, thanks for coming in. Coach Sheila is in the building. Hey, Coach Sheila. So let me say this real quick. A couple of love nuggets, ladies. Ladies, you are, we talk about this in men's circles, and on a social level, this is true. When we speak to a man, or we're speaking about a man concerning his wife, we always ask, watch this, ladies, let me bless your sanctified stockings off today. We always ask, hey, bro, where's your better half? That's how we as men talk to each other when we're speaking of you as the wife. We ask, Coach Sheila, hey, where's your better half at? Because ladies, whom God has made you to be strengthens us to be better than we are. So you, on a social level, and even on an interpersonal level, most often, not always, but most often, it is the wife who is far more engaging. I have pastor friends who are on their second marriage. Several of my friends, they had a wife who passed away due to cancer or some other thing, fibromyalgia, lupus. I have several of my pastor friends whose wives passed away. And in their second marriage, and it took them, some men, it took them a long time because, wow, that was my high school sweetheart I was married to. And I don't know if I could ever find a woman like that. There are some men who they were married for a long time, and because his whole adult life, all he knows is marriage, he marries quickly, right? It's no disrespect or lack of love for his previous wife who passed away. It's just that he's a husband, and it's like, I don't know what it's like to even operate in my life as a single man. I ain't trying to be up in these streets. I got to have a wife. And so those men marry within a year to 2 years very quickly. I have one pastor friend who married within 9 months of his wife passing away. The church had a problem, but he did it the right way. He was abstinent until he married her, and he married her, and she came right out the church. And people had a problem because they couldn't let go of the first lady. Whole nother subject. My point is this, that men, ladies, when he has a wife, you are essentially his better half, because a good woman comes into a man's life. She makes him more conscious. She makes him more sensitive to people's needs. She helps to cultivate a heart of compassion in him. And she brings a softer side to that hard, tough edge that he has. So she essentially, as we see it as men, we say, hey, bro, where's your better half? So I want to bless you with that, ladies. So then my question for you is, if you are not operating in the fruit of the Spirit with kindness, with gentleness, with patience, if you're not operating in that, and notice all of those things I just shared, those are what people nowadays call feminine energy. Wisdom is also feminine energy. Wisdom, when you study the book of Proverbs, wisdom is referred to as a feminine spirit. In fact, in the Hebrew, and both, I believe both the Hebrew and the Greek, the word Sophia is the Greek word for wisdom. So shout out to all the Sophias of the world. You are the personification of wisdom. But the scripture says in Proverbs, wisdom, she crieth out in the streets. So wisdom, gentleness, patience, kindness, those are all feminine energy. Doesn't mean that we as men can't embody them. We should, and I personally strive for it daily. But it is more so a feminine energy, right? And so I want to share, ladies, that you embracing the totality of that feminine energy will draw quality men to you. Conversely, when you are not operating in that energy, when you're standoffish, when you are aloof, when you are not kind, I'm just professional, this is a business structure and I'm not going to do it. When you operate like that, first of all, you're operating outside of the place of grace that God has placed on your life, number one. Number two, you become a person that we don't want to connect with because we don't feel that energy from you. When you talk to and interact with Bishop Joyce, she embodies wisdom. She embodies kindness. She embodies joy. She has a beautiful energy. And this woman is 70, 71, and she embodies it. She embraces it. You want to be around her. You want to talk to her on the phone because of what she exudes, right? Oh, jacked up my camera. And so you want to have that at all time. You want to demonstrate that at all time. Lavora is another one. Lavora is a beautiful, kind-hearted, beautiful soul. You just want to talk to her. You just want to hear her heart. I mean, she just wonderful, right? Embraces that, personifies that energy. It is so doggone attractive. And Coach Sheila, absolutely 1000%. Feminine energy attracts godly, stable men. Because see, men who are unstable mentally and emotionally, they will reject that energy, or they'll try to take advantage of that energy in you. But Coach Sheila is a beautiful example of a woman who is the personification of wisdom, gentleness, kindness. So you want to exude that, ladies, because that's what men are drawing from. They want to draw from that part of you that they don't naturally possess themselves. All right. Why would we want? I hear women all the time talk about, oh, you can't deal with a strong woman. You can't deal with a woman who will stand up against you. Why would I want to? I deal with men every day that stand up against me. Why would I want to deal with a woman who stands up against me? A woman who is strong and dominant. Why would I want to have to engage her? Because I already know I'm stronger than her. Even if she's more educated than me, she has more money than me. I already know as a man, I'm stronger than her. I am the stronger vessel. Why would I want to engage in a confrontational, conflicting interaction with a woman? It goes against my nature as a man. So I'll let you stay over there and be tough and be strong and be hard. And, I'll let you go do that by yourself because I'm attracted to wise women, soft women, kind women, and women who exude a beautiful feminine energy. All right. Let's talk to Natasha Murphy. Natasha Murphy says, how do you operate in feminine energy when you've had to exhibit masculine energy because of your past circumstances? Beautiful question, Miss Natasha. Thank you for asking this. Thank you for asking this. This is a beautiful question. So, as women in the business sector and even in ministry, as women, there is a level of masculine energy, to use your words, Natasha. I'll stay with you right there. There's a beautiful level of masculine energy, or I shouldn't say beautiful level. There's a necessary level of masculine energy that you have to operate in as a woman in the business sector, in the corporate jungle, and maybe even sometimes in ministry to protect yourself, especially women who may work in law enforcement and in other fields where you are interacting with a lot of men, both publicly and professionally. If you are a woman in one of those industries and you have to operate like that, if you are a woman who is a single mom and you have to fight out in the world because you got to go for it in order to provide for yourself and your family. So you have to operate like that. If you do, you have to pray and ask God, Miss Natasha, ladies, you have to pray and ask God to help you balance that. You got to pray and ask God to help you balance that. Okay. It's just like for me, Natasha, and like for any of my brothers who are in the military, my brothers who are in law enforcement, right? And I've been in law enforcement. So at the end of the day, you got to take that hat off and say, okay, God, now help me to detox from the day. God, help me to detox from all the stuff where I had to deal with, hardcore people and I got to, boom, handcuff people. I might have to do so, so God, help me to detox from that so I can bring a level of peace and kindness to my wife or my significant other or my children, right? So when you have to have done that, Natasha, and I salute, I commend, I salute all the women who do have to function in a level of masculine energy because of what you do professionally and even how you may have to interact on some things personally as a woman, and especially women who are single mothers, right? But even as a professional and as a lawyer, as a doctor, a physician's assistant, or a nurse, and you got all these nasty doctors around you who are flirting, and you might have to be like, okay, hey, all right now, you can mess with me if you want to, but not only do I have spin cycle, but I also know karate and kareze. You know what I mean? So you might have to come off like that just to protect yourself as a woman, right? And so quite naturally, those things are real. But the bottom line is every woman has to ask God, God, help me to be balanced. Because as much as I have to do that for myself as a woman to protect myself and to provide for my family, I can't stay in that masculine energy if I'm going to attract a masculine man who wants to love me, cover me, and provide for me. We as men who want to do that for you, Miss Natasha, and do that for the women who desire a husband. And notice I use the word desire a husband because there's a lot of women who want to be married, but they don't really desire a husband. A husband is called to come and cover, to lead, provide, and protect. A lot of women just want to be married. And they want that husband to just come in and be a second fiddle to everything else she got going on in life. She ain't trying to be led. She ain't trying to be led at all. She just wants somebody to hold her at night, give her some good sex, maybe, and whatever you got to add to the kitty, bro, because I already got the money, so whatever. So, Miss Natasha, I hope that helps. Oh, my spiritual mom is in the building, Dr. Deborah. Blessings on you. You know, I got a beef with you, right, Mom? You know I love you to life. You know I got beef with you. Yes, your son has beef with you. That's right. We'll talk later. But I'm glad I just happened to read yesterday that you got out the hospital. So I love you, praying for you for total recovery and restoration. And we will talk. All right. Thank you, Marilyn. All right. So I'll take 2 more questions before I get out of here. I've already been on too long already. But I'll take 2 more questions. 2 more questions. Bishop Joyce said, it's in you to be feminine. Mentorship with other women. Balance it out. It's in you. If you practice more of being masculine, even being brought in the home of all boys, God will help. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I'll take 2 more questions before I get up out of here, y'all. And while I am here, let me offer you Estelita said April Mason has a book or class on the feminine CEO. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I know of April Mason. We've actually talked on the phone a couple of times. She is awesome in what she does. She is awesome in what she does, for sure. So yeah, April Mason, I want to call her Pastor April Mason because when I met her years ago, she was Pastor April Mason. But April Mason has a book on the feminine CEO. So look her up, ladies. Look her up. I have heard her speak several times, and she is awesome. So yeah, check her out. All right. Nadella said, I had one guy tell me I have too much energy for him. So yeah, Nadella, you look lovely. You look like a seasoned woman. And so I would encourage you, as I encourage all of my seasoned ladies, my seasoned sisters, seasoned being 45 and up. If you are a woman on the other side of 45, you are seasoned, 45, 55, 60. I would encourage you, ladies, consider dating a man, marrying a man who's younger. Consider dating and marrying. Listen, I know some of y'all think that's taboo. There's no scripture in the Bible from Genesis to Maps that says you can't marry a younger man. And if you talk to most of your sisters who married younger men who had their stuff together financially, had his stuff together mentally, and was rooted and grounded spiritually, if you talk to my sisters who married those men, they're happy. God bless you. They're happy. Baby, they over there singing Pharrell. Cause they're happy. Cause I'm happy. She happy, baby. Honey, you better let down some of them guards and some of them old school mindsets and constraints. All right. Listen, I am offering for anyone and everyone who, if you say that you are marriage minded and you're ready to go to that next level, you really, really, really want to get prepared for a relationship and or marriage, I encourage you to join my relationship intensive relationship autopsy. Relationship autopsy is going to help us to unpack some stuff, to determine the cause of death of previous relationships, determine the cause of death of that divorce. As the late, great Dr. Miles Monroe says, that divorce is a form of death. The relationship autopsy is going to help us to determine what that is. Because most often, 99% of the time, when anything bad happens in a relationship, we're looking externally. and we're looking at all the bad that that person did, but we're not taking responsibility for what we did. Even if you weren't a bad person in the relationship, you contributed to the death of that relationship. The relationship autopsy is going to help you to determine the cause of death. Look within yourself, not just at the other person, but look within yourself. Because if you saw poor behavior in that other person, why did you tolerate it? Why did you stay? Even after God showed enough showed you that this person was not the person for you. Why did you stay? What's broken on the inside of you that kept you there? We're going to heal that. But before we heal it, we got to expose it. So the relationship autopsy is going to help you with that. If you're interested, just drop two letters in the chat for me, RA. RA. If you're interested in being a part of this awesome relationship intensive, it starts in September. I have there 9/9 when it starts. I'm actually going to go past that date because I have to get away and rest for a little bit. I had planned, Mom Deborah, I was planning to start this on within the next 2 weeks, but I have to get away and rest for a little while. My voice has been severely challenged, so I'm going to get away and rest for a little while and start this class probably in the middle of the month instead of right at the first or second week of the month. So, but if you're interested, let me know and I'll send you information, give you an outline on what this awesome 4-week relationship intensive is going to be. All right. All right. So I don't see any other questions. So listen, I love you. This is your brother, G. Hightower, the Entanglement Coach. I'm so glad that you all came in today and joined us for this conversation. Yeah, Nadella. And so again, notice the first thing that I said is that the man has to be financially stable. Okay. So financially, he has to be solid. Mentally, emotionally, he has to be solid. And spiritually, he has to be rooted and grounded in the things of Christ. All right. So I would highly recommend that all of you beautiful seasoned women on the other side of 45, on the other side of 50, consider marrying a man who's younger, 5 years, 7 years. If he has those fundamental things in place, honey, you're going to be happy. I'm just saying. All right. Love you. Abundant blessings to you. This is your brother, G. Hightower, the Entanglement Coach, CEO of Real Love Nation. I might come back tonight, maybe chop it up with y'all. But if not, be blessed. Have a great rest of the day. And ladies, whatever you do, don't stay stuck in tradition. These church people, including the pastors, they will have you single until Jesus comes back. Oh, don't ever approach a man. No, there are many situations where you should approach a man. And it's a 30-second introduction. Hi, I enjoyed your speech today. I have your book. I like your book. Oh, really? Oh, thank you. What's your name? Hi, my name is Ariel Thomas. Okay, boom, 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 boom. And you just initiated a conversation and you don't know where God will take that conversation. May not be a romantic interest, but he may be the man that's answered prayer for you as a business consultant, as a collaborative, or some other open door. You never know. All it takes is a little kindness. Blessings, ladies, gentlemen, blessings to you. We'll see you soon.